Family Fortunes is today at 5:30, followed at 6 by Silla's Moment of Truth, and at 7, Des Lynam presents highlights of today's Premiership games.
That's the younger brother. I used to play my Newcastle. A coach, a run, a box. Professional footballers. They come and drink with me any day they want me.
The Gold Rush on ITV with Coca-Cola.
What about this one?
Good afternoon. A full domestic programme is being played today, but before every match there was a minute's silence and players are wearing black armbands as a mark of respect for the events in America on Tuesday. For some, football and life has to go on. And here are the latest Premiership scores. Bolton, the leaders, 0. Southampton, 0. Derby 1, Leicester 1. Everton 1, Liverpool 3. That is a result. Kevin Campbell for Everton, Gerrard Owen from the penalty spot, and Risa for Liverpool. Fulham 1, Arsenal 1. Middlesbrough 2, West Ham 0. And Newcastle 3, Manchester United 1. And Ron Atkinson and Paul Walsh are here. And Ron, you're watching that Manchester United game at St James's Park against Newcastle. Sounds like a cracker.
Brilliant, absolutely phenomenal game. First half starts off, Newcastle come out the blocks. They get a great opening goal. Terrific free kick from Lauren Roberts. Then Manchester United plays some great stuff, passing, moving. They equalise through Van Nistelrooy. Then the French goalkeeper Barthez does the sort of thing he's capable of, makes a right rick. Robert Lee bursts through and hits a shot about, well, he could have dived forward, but he didn't. And to save it, he hooks it. So he helps it into his own net. And then you think, because there's loads of missed chances, you think United are going to come out and probe and play again. Straight after half-time, Newcastle come out, throw it in the box. Another battered shot from Robert. 3 cannons, cannon. And Davies that smashes it home. Now Scholes has come on. It's the cavalry out for United.
OK. Well, highlights for St James's Park at 7 o'clock tonight, of course, on the Premiership ITV1. Paul, you are watching Fulham against Arsenal. Another intriguing game there.
That's it. And Fulham should have just gone 2-1 up. Legwinski with a great header at the far post, nearly put them 2-1 up, which would have been totally against the run of play from the first half. Lundberg putting Arsenal in the lead after 17 minutes. Francis Jeffers having 2 great chances, and Arsenal should have been at least 3 up at half-time. Wasn't the case. So they come out for the second half. Surging run by Multi down the right-hand side. Slots it into the path of Malbrank, who makes no mistake from 7 yards. And they just nearly took the lead. And Arsene Wenger didn't look a happy man coming back onto the pitch for the second half.
And he certainly won't be looking very happy now. Paul, thanks very much indeed. Don't forget, highlights of Newcastle against Manchester United and Fulham against Arsenal. 7 o'clock on ITV1 with Des, Terry and Ali, plus a whole lot more. But before I tell you about anything, I'm going straight back to Ron, where there's been another goal
This could
at St
be
James's Park.
Anything can happen in this game. I'll tell you how well it is. It's an equaliser, not an equaliser, second goal for United from the edge of the box with a terrific right foot shot. From who? Ryan Giggs. Can he use his right foot? He has smashed home. Neville's crossed it, and he's come onto it, and he's roofed it. And I tell you what, this could be anything.
Ron, thanks very much indeed. Plenty more left in the final 25 minutes or so of that game. OK, we're going off to the Riverside. Middlesbrough against West Ham. Roger Thames.
Well, if you hadn't been to the Riverside before today, you really would be wondering what has the problem been. The Borough have always been in control of this one, not just because of the 2 first-half goals from Brian Deane and Alan Johnston. They've looked an organised team, plenty of width through Johnston and Greening, and the 2 front men, Deane and Windus, have worked strongly up front. As for West Ham, they really are missing Canute and Di Canio, and a little bit of an improvement in the second half, but so much still to do. They're 2-0 down here, West Ham at Middlesbrough.
We'll be going to Fratton Park, Portsmouth shortly for news of another goal, but we're off to Pride Park now. Bob Hall.
Well, it remains 1-1, but it shouldn't be. Dean Sturridge had a point-blank effort, which Oakes stood and looked aghast, amazed even, as he took hold of the ball. He couldn't believe his luck. And then at the other end, Dion Burton, a weak header into Walker's arms. Both should have been goals. Leicester is starting to find a little bit more space behind that Derby defence. It's anybody's game.
We're looking for a goal at the Reebok. Bolton, the leaders, against Southampton, looking for a goal and a first point. Keith Macklin.
Bolton 0, Southampton 0. Bolton had their early chances when Franson hit the post and then brought a great save from Jones with free kicks, but it's a messy, scrappy, wet game with Dean Richards outstanding and a dogged defence for Southampton. Southampton still looking for that first Premiership goal. Richards almost got it a few minutes ago with a header which just went wide. Bolton 0, Southampton 0.
Ron told you there was plenty more in the game at St James's Park. Well, we've got a little bit more. I'm running out of room to put down all the goals on my piece of paper. Ron, it's 3-3.
Probing ball forward from Giggs. Van Nistelrooy loses possession on the edge of the box, and there's a little deflection out. Who's following up? Veron, and he does give it a bit of a bump, and that flies in. I tell you what, it's up for grabs now, honestly. And Bobby Robson's not looking too happy.
He wasn't after the first half, unbelievably. Well, remember, you will be able to see highlights of that game in about 2.5 hours' time on the Premiership. Burnley against Walsall, there's been another goal there. Turf Moor, Brian Seymour-Smith.
Well, Burnley certainly aren't looking like leaders at the moment because Walsall have equalised through substitute Carlos Garrocho, and it was one of the flukiest goals of the season. He tried his luck from the edge of the box. It hit, I think it was Steve Davis, the defender, just simply bobbled off him and worked its way into the back of the net from some 20 yards, and everyone was stunned. Then just moments ago, as she came over to me, Lee Briscoe fired his luck for Burnley. The ball hit one of the Walsall defenders. They appealed for a penalty. That was turned down. There's been incident after incident in this last 10 minutes. The game's been an absolute cracker. It's Burnley 2, Walsall 2.
What a comeback for Walsall there. Well, Ron is still squealing at St James's Park, and we'll be able to bring you any more updates as they come, and I'm sure they will. A little over 20 or so minutes to go there. We're off to Fratton Park now. We will hear about that goal. John Hughes.
It's now Portsmouth 3, Crystal Palace 1, and Pompey have given them breathing space from the penalty spot. Mark Birchall scoring after the tricky Courtney Pitt was brought down as he tried to go between two defenders. And all that moments after Dougie Freedman for Palace missed an absolute sitter. It's Portsmouth 3, Crystal Palace 1.
We're going back into the Premiership. Is Peter Taylor smiling? Another goal at Pride Park. Bob Hall.
I tell you, he is smiling. He's out there, his arms are aloft. You'd think they'd won the cup, but credit to them. I did say that Leicester were getting in behind the Derby defence. They did it one time. And Dean Sturridge, who else? He's got 2 goals. Of course, he used to play for Derby County. He is a popular chap. Well, he is with Peter Taylor. It's Derby 1, Leicester 2.
Hold your breath, relax. We will see you in a couple of minutes. Don't forget, it's 7 o'clock this evening for the Premiership on ITV1. Des and the team with all the action from this afternoon's 6 Premiership games, plus lots more, I can tell you. A programme you should be watching. ITV1, 7 o'clock. Ron, we'll go back to our multi-screen format now. There you are. But Ron, I have to keep coming back to you every other minute because it's all going off at St James's Park.
Well, it's gone boring in the last 2 minutes. I'm not saying to go off. There's been plenty of action, though. And just when you think, like, United are starting to camp in, Manchester United are starting to camp in Newcastle's half of the field and probing and passing it. They've just made a great break, Newcastle. Roberts flies down the wing, crosses it to the back post. I think Alan Shearer, fully fit Alan Shearer, would have made up the ground and scored. So, whilst United are looking the most threatening, and as I'm saying threatening, they've only got in again, there's still that threat from Newcastle. It is a super game, I promise you. Everybody, Newcastle have played their part, committed, fought, scrapped, and at times United have shown some phenomenal quality.